Is trucking done for? Is it over? Is it finally going to crash? Is the long run we had that was so good finally over?
Game
The
over.
fuel's up. The rates are not catching up. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's not panic yet. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Diesel is still at $5.31 national average per gallon. It did not go up this time. As you can see, it went up 0.00%. So that's good. At least that's at a standstill. Hopefully it starts going down a little bit. The fuel did get a little out of hand. We'll see what happens in the next coming few days or the next week. Dry van rates are still holding strong. $3.03 national average rate per mile, which is not bad for the dry vans. Like I said, even though the fuel did go up a little bit, the van rates are still holding. There's still a lot of good areas. No time to panic yet. The flatbeds did take a little dip. They're at $3.59 national average rate per mile. I did see the rates go down a little bit for the flatbeds this past week. The volume is still good. The rates did go down a little bit. You have to be a little bit more careful. Book better loads. Make sure you stay on a good average. It was a little bit more difficult this last week. Again, I still would not panic. The one and only thing we talk about the refrigerators, they did take a pretty decent dip. They're at $3.33 national average rate per mile. A lot of people in my comments were commenting that the reefers did take a drastic hit. I think they're the worst ones out of the three trailer groups, but it is what it is. Let's hope the dry vans and the flatbeds stay strong. Taking a look at DAT statistics, compared July of this year compared to July of last year, we're still in pretty good shape. So if you take a look here, you got the spot load post are at plus 29.7% from last year to this year. Spot truck posts are minus 22.5%. Okay, some people might not post their trucks, so I'm not really looking at that number too crazy. But then once you get into the dry vans, you're looking here, load to truck ratio is up 61.9% from last year to this year. That's a really good sign. The spot rates are up 18.4%, which is another good sign. For the flatbeds, load to truck is up plus 80.4%. And the spot rates are up 18.8%. So again, do we have a bad week or two? Yes. Are the volumes completely down? I would not say so. I think the volumes are still there. Did the rates go down a little bit? Yes. My opinion is because fuel was going down for 9 weeks in a row, the rates caught up, finally started going down a little bit because of the fuel, and then out of nowhere again with the whole conflict with Iran, the fuel prices spiked up. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not no professional trucking economist, but every time I see fuel prices go up or down, it usually takes about a week or two for the rates to catch up. So in my opinion, I think the rates are going to slowly go up a little bit if the fuel stays high. We should be back to almost where we were. I really don't think there's anything to panic about yet. The rates are still good. The market is still good. We're still getting freight, and we're still moving in profitable numbers. Before we start checking the markets, shout out to DAT. If you don't already have them, go in my description. Go to bobbylowe's.com/offers. 10% off for the first 12 months. Great tools to have. I don't want to keep on beating the dead horse. You know what I think about them. For the price, I think it's awesome tools, must need. Get into hot markets, see all the trends, see the analytics, statistics. And if you already have it, but you're not taking advantage of the market conditions, I don't get anything for it. Call your rep, upgrade your plan. The extra $100 you're going to spend a month, you're going to make it back many times over, as long as you don't go into a bad area one time and you send your truck to a better area just by using their tools to research the markets. Now let's get into the market update. Let's get into the dry vans first. It is Sunday, so I have to do the last day 8 average, because obviously if we look at last day, it's going to be Saturday, so it won't make much sense. Here's a bird's eye view of the dry van market conditions map. As you can see, for the last 8 days, there's a lot of good hotspots. I know a lot of people complaining that the rates have been going down. Let's search right now, because even though it is Sunday, there's still going to be loads posted. Let's see what markets have decent rates out of them, so that way you can get to them, make the most money possible for your dry van. Here we go. Let's get into the Midwest first. We'll start off by Northern Chicagoland, and Northern Chicagoland has been looking pretty decent. As you can see, a lot of load searches, a lot of truck searches, good volume, over 4,000 loads posted with only 700 trucks posted. Even though those numbers are not 100%, we all know, cut the loads in half, double, triple the truck counts, and you're still going to know if you're in a good market. So Northern Chicago looking good, Southern Chicago looking decent. Milwaukee, not too much volume, so I wouldn't get too excited about it, but at least if you're in Milwaukee, you can still get down in Chicago with not that much deadhead. And Green Bay too, not that many trucks, but not that many loads either, so the volume's not looking that great. Western Michigan could definitely be a lot better. Now we get into Columbus, which is really good. Cleveland, really good. And Pittsburgh, I consider the Midwest, as I always tell you guys. Pittsburgh, the volumes overall, not the best, but still a pretty decent area if you get good money going in there. And then once we get down a little bit further here, Louisville too, the volumes are not too crazy. and Indianapolis looking pretty damn good. Let's search up a couple markets here, check it out for the dry vans, see how they're looking, and see which areas you need to get to have the best chance to get the best rate right now in this market. I'm going to search up the top 3 markets in the Midwest that I think you have the best chance of getting the best freight. The first one is, we're going to start off with Chicago. I know it is Sunday, like I said, but taking a look at today and tomorrow, what kind of lows are posted. I mean, right here you say Connecticut, you know, 527 a mile, no crazy drop trailer, never mind, crazy no. I wouldn't want to go there anyway. Say Jersey, $5 a mile, 14 pickups. This is why you need to check the notes, man. You see, the load might look good, but you know, it's not good. Short run, Elmhurst, Illinois to Perrysburg, Ohio, 1250, 492 a mile. No crazy notes. It is a short run, but sometimes it's better off doing those short runs, making less miles and doing more per mile, and that means more profit, right? Especially like if the markets are getting tight, that's probably the best strategy to do to make sure you stay profitable. New Kensington, PA. First stop New Jersey, second stop PA on Tuesday. Want to pass on that one. Minneapolis, wouldn't want to go there. River Rouge, Michigan. I mean, still 438 a mile, $1,300 on 297 miles. No crazy comments. Milwaukee to Indianapolis, no crazy comments. 280 miles, $1,200, 429 a mile. One good market into a better market. So, you know, these are loads that I would definitely be thinking about. 410 a mile to Waynesburg, PA. No crazy notes. $2,200, 536 on a mile is again 410 a mile. I don't think that's bad. You know, you're going to be RPMing pretty good. Then once you get to PA, take a cheaper load, go down south, North Carolina, South Carolina, areas like that. So, I mean, this is Sunday, so tomorrow's going to be a lot more loads for sure. So, I think you're pretty safe with a dry van in Chicago. You should get a halfway decent load that's going to keep you way above the national average rate per mile, which right now for the dry vans is $3.03. Market number 2 for the dry vans that you should be safe at, Indianapolis, Indiana. I mean, just looking over here, you got 540 a mile, no crazy notes. Springport, Indiana to Altoona, PA, 426 miles, $2,300, 540 on a miles. That's a good little RPM boost right there. You know, $1,500 to Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Never mind, drop trailer delivery. That's why you got to read the damn notes. Michigan, $1,100, but that is, you know, way too short. Rochester, Minnesota, not sure if I would trust that one to go to that market, but if you want to risk it, 418 a mile, $2,200, $22 on a rate, 531 on the miles. As long as you deliver early, you can still get that done with a legal ELD for the next day. A bunch of loads going to PA for over $4 a mile. Lee Summit, Missouri, I'll probably risk that one. One pick, one drop. Okay, good. Bedford Park, Indiana, Lee Summit, 488 miles, $2,000, 410 a mile. I don't think that's bad whatsoever. You know, Wisconsin over $4 a mile. Now you see, like, this is what I would get into. No crazy notes. Terre Haute, Indiana, Black Mountain, North Carolina, 555 miles, $2,200, $399 a mile. Going to North Carolina, which is a good market. Again, in my opinion, if you got a dry van, I think Indianapolis is a very safe zone to go into to have your dry van in. Dry van market number 3. I'm going to go with Columbus, Ohio for the Midwest. I think if you're going to be in this market, you're going to be safe as well. Just taking a look at it. I don't trust this one. Ohio to Alabama. Why is this paying so much? No crazy notes on this one. I wonder if the broker has a bad credit. No, they're approved for factoring. Oxford, Louisiana, 610 miles, $6,500. Yeah, something's not right, man. I don't trust this one. It might be a scam. Contact information, email. Oh yeah, it's definitely, well, MTG Freight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust that one, dude. But maybe hit him up. You never know. Hagerstown, Maryland, 487 a mile. No crazy notes. 411 on a mile is $2,000. I think that's a decent rate. I wouldn't be too upset about going there, to be honest with you. What else we got? The Michigan, a little bit too short. Mishawaka, Indiana, too short. Front Royal, Virginia, $1,800, 481 on a mile, 374 miles. I would risk it going to Virginia for sure. I mean, New York for over 453 a mile, no crazy notes. 425 miles, 1924 on a rate. I mean, you got to go through it. There's a lot of loads, and this is just Sunday. Tomorrow's going to be a lot more freight, a lot better freight to a lot of better areas. We're looking at this Sunday at 1:28 p.m. Chicago time. So, again, I think any of these 3 markets, if you're going to get there with a dry van, take advantage, get good RPM. You know, don't go out there in the bad areas. Try to get, you know, loads from these areas going in a halfway decent area so you keep on going, getting the RPM and making profit instead of shooting out to Wyoming, South Dakota, or some wild shit like that. Definitely would recommend that. But I think these are 3 solid markets in the Midwest right now for the dry vans. Let's get into the rest of the states. You guys know how I feel about East Coast, right? If you're going to go anywhere central PA, if you're going to go anywhere northern New Jersey, southern New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, I think you're still going to be safe. But remember, there's a decent amount of volume there. but you can't take cheap money going in there. You got to take a super high RPM because you're gonna have to take a cheaper load out of there. Just because there's volume there does not mean you're gonna get a good rate. So just, I go in there as well. Just don't get yourself screwed like in Connecticut, Mass, stuff like that. Because every time I end up going there, especially with the flatbeds, I get screwed. I would probably take the same advice with the dry vans. Even though Connecticut's showing a little bit better for the dry vans, sometimes it shows it for the flatbeds, but it's just not a good area. And you're way too far north, way too many deadhead miles to get down to a better area. So be cautious going into the East Coast. Like again, stay in like northern Jersey at the highest, mid PA, like central PA, and like eastern PA. The rest of that stuff I wouldn't really do. It's gonna be a waste of time. You're gonna be wasting a day, too many miles to mess up your RPM. I just wouldn't do it. Once we start getting in the South, Atlanta's still good with volume. Memphis is still good. Charlotte, we're gonna search Charlotte. That's one place I want to search because it looks like the volumes have went down in Charlotte. So we'll take a look, see what kind of loads are out there. Florida right now, I wouldn't trust it for the life of me. Dallas, you're still gonna get volume, but the rates are still not gonna be like super spectacular. But there is volume, so if you get decent money going into Dallas, doesn't have to be crazy, but decent. You're still going to get a decent RPM out of there. And Houston's still doing pretty good volume, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. So, I mean, I don't want to like keep on searching markets, but we will search the Charlotte market though, because I want to make sure. I don't want to send you guys there and then have you screwed. And then we'll just take a look at Los Angeles. And Los Angeles still looks like it's doing super good. So people out of Los Angeles are probably going to get, good money coming out of there. But again, one of those markets, be cautious. A lot of dead areas between good markets over there. So make sure, like, because usually you're going to take a cheap ass load going in there because nobody wants to pay. So then you got to make sure you get really good money, going to a good area, thousands of miles away, and that you got to make sure the RPM on that one's super high to make up for the bullshit money you took coming in. You know what I mean? So let's check out the Charlotte market for the dry vans, see how that is, and we'll go from there. So let's see what kind of loads, what kind of rates are coming out of Charlotte. Is it still good to go in there? Just taking a look over it. If you got decent money going in there, I still see decent stuff, but a lot of it's going East Coast. Florida, I just wouldn't trust for the life of it. I mean, Hazleton, PA, $3.97 a mile. No crazy notes, just food grade. $6.15 on a miles, $24.43 on a rate. I don't think that's that bad whatsoever. Leland, North Carolina, a little bit too short, I would say. Valdosta, Georgia, I think that's going to be a little bit too far south for my liking. Tampa, no good. Montgomery, New York, $3.50 a mile. So you see, like Charlotte, like I don't know. I mean, if you get good money going in there, I would still do it. But looking in there, like you really got to get decent money going in there and then get really good money coming out because a lot of these loads that are going to areas, they're not the best, right? Like Jacksonville, Florida, 334 a mile. Like I wouldn't want to do that, you know what I mean? Because out of Jacksonville, you're kind of going to be screwed. So, we're still at over $3 a mile. You see, this one's decent, but it's a short run. 304 miles. Welford, South Connecticut, 83 miles there from Charlotte. Gordonsville, Tennessee, $1,000, 329 on the miles. But you want to gross more than $1,000. So if you're gonna go to Charlotte, you're gonna have to take, this one's not bad. Monroe, North Carolina, Bowling Green, Kentucky, no crazy notes. 318 a mile, 471 miles, $1,500, right? So I think if you still go to Charlotte for halfway decent money, I still think you're gonna get a decent load. You could get to a decent area because if you want to get this, closer to $4 a mile, you have to go up East Coast, and even to the East Coast, there's not that many loads that are paying $4+ a mile. So unless you get that, it's not worth going. So you're gonna have to take like a shorter run to another good area and then try to get a higher paying load with a little bit more miles out of that area. Is Charlotte bad? No, it's probably still a lot better in a bunch of markets. Is it as hot as it was? No, it definitely took a nosedive a little bit. So be cautious when going in there. Make sure if you are going there, you get halfway decent money and just don't take no crazy load for a lower RPM going to a crappy area. You're just going to screw yourself. You're better off doing a shorter run to another good area and then getting the load that you're looking for. Bird's eye view of the flatbed market. The map's still looking good. Our RPM did dip a little bit. There's still a lot of good areas, man, with the flatbeds, but it's like a little bit like not harder to get loads, but harder to get loads that were paying that crazy amount of money. Like I said, the rates did go down a little bit. I think it was because the fuel dropped, but the fuel picked back up kind of fast, so they're still going to catch up. I mean, there's still a bunch of areas I'll stay away from, so we're going to get into all that stuff right now. Let's get going with the flatbeds. Let's see what's going on in the Midwest. Flatbeds, Midwest, let's take a look at it. Chicago's still looking pretty decent. Still a decent amount of loads, not a lot of capacity with the trucks. Indianapolis looks like it's fell off a little bit. Columbus, Ohio looks like it's fell off a little bit, so we're going to search that one. We'll take a look if it really fell off or not. Cleveland's still holding strong, and Pittsburgh's still definitely a decent market. And then we get into like Louisville area, which is not the worst, not the best. And St. Louis still kind of holding on strong as well. even though the numbers volume-wise are not crazy, the capacity, the amount of trucks that are in those markets is a lot less than dry vans or refrigerated. So that's what it has going for the flatbeds. That there's not that many, flatbed equipment out in those areas. So if someone needs to move a load, you are going to get paid. But let's check out what happened in Indianapolis and Columbus. Chicago, I think you'll still be good. Cleveland, you're still going to be good. Pittsburgh, you're still going to be good. But again, let's jump in. Let's see these two markets. Let's see what's going on over there. First, we do Indianapolis flatbed. Remember, this is Sunday. We are searching loads. So, our data is not going to be as much as it would during the weekday or even on a Saturday. So I could look at the day before. But overall, I think out of Indianapolis, you're still going to do all right. A bunch of loads way over national average rate per mile for the flatbeds. So taking a look at it here, let's see like any loads I would do. Portland, Indiana to Martins Ferry, Ohio. No tarp, no crazy notes, $1,200, 264 miles, $455 a mile. I would still probably take that. Salem, Virginia, 411. This is when you start, you're still getting over $4 RPM, but, not something I really want to do. Freeport, Illinois, 1350. So as you can see, there is a lot here. 333 a mile to Blytheville, Arkansas, 383 on the miles, 1275. This is the load I'll probably take because Blytheville's a hot ass area for the flatbeds. So the Indy market did go down because they were paying some crazy rates for the flatbeds out of there. Is there still some decent loads? Are you still going to get a decent amount of money, per mile to get out of there, go to a better area, and then, boost your RPM from that area? Yes. Is it as hot as it was? No. So it did take a little nosedive. It's still not the worst area. You still get a decent load. And then again, if you're doing it during the weekday and you have a truck actually there ready to go or almost ready to go, and somebody's desperate and needs it, they are going to pay you anyways. So it's not the worst area. It's not the best area. It's still an area that I would feel comfortable going into if I got decent money going in there. Columbus, Ohio, flatbed. Let's check this out really quick. So Chambersburg, PA, 693 a mile, no crazy notes. 332 on the miles, $2,300. That's not bad, but you are gonna have to take a cheaper load out of there. Let's see if we got anything going in good areas. Columbus, Ohio, Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, $1,700, one pick, one drop, no crazy notes, 354 on the miles, 480 a mile, not bad at all. Let me see. Mount Airy, North Carolina, 464 miles, $1,600, 345 miles, no crazy notes. Duncan, South Carolina, that's gonna be a good area. Minster, Ohio, 521 on the miles, 461 a mile, $2,400. I would say Columbus, you're still good. I know the map, I would say kind of like showing you like a false, like not good market. I think this is a pretty decent market. We're still at over $4.20 a mile. Columbus to Charlotte. I mean, there's a lot of freight going, a lot of good areas. So I mean, I think I'd be good going here, dude. I think you're gonna find a decent load coming out of the Columbus, Ohio market. Again, not as hot as it was. Volumes did drop down a little bit. The rate per mile did drop down a little bit. But if you got decent money going in there, I would still go there and get a decent load to another decent or better market where you're going to get more money from at the next market. I would feel so comfortable going to Columbus with the flatbeds for sure. West Coast, I don't even want to talk about. I mean, there's no point. I don't go to the West Coast. If you want to go, check it yourself. I got to try to keep these videos like around 20, 22 minutes. I think we're going to go way past that already as it is. But I mean, Charlotte market, I can tell you right now, is going to be very good for the flatbeds. If you go to Charlotte, you are going to get a good ass load. Atlanta, still huge volume. Alabama, pretty much anywhere you're going to go there, you're going to get a good load. Memphis, money bag Memphis, you all know what's going on there. All of Mississippi, Arkansas, as long as you stay central and eastern Arkansas, you are going to get good money. If you start going more towards like Oklahoma, it might get a little bit tougher, like in the Fayetteville market. But anything like Little Rock, Conway, Jonesboro, Blytheville, all that kind of stuff, you are going to get decent money coming out of there. Really good market still. Not as good as they were, like a few weeks ago, but they're still really good if you're down there. Northern Louisiana is still doing super good. Southern Louisiana, halfway decent. Houston, stupid volume. Dallas is doing very decent too. So if you get good money going in there, you'll get it, very decent load coming out of there as well. And then once you get into Laredo, Laredo's like hit or miss a little bit. I see with the flatbeds. I have been getting some good loads out of there. It's kind of when I go into like the McAllen market, Corpus Christi, Reynosa, all that kind of stuff over there. It starts getting a little sketchy. You got to start deadheading towards Laredo a lot of times if you can't find a good load. But that market's still good. I mean, even like, I probably will stay away from northern Florida, maybe stay away from like southern Georgia. Savannah will probably still get some decent stuff, but just stay away from there. And then even like Mobile, Alabama area got a lot of decent loads for the flatbeds. And I know, like I mentioned, northern Louisiana already, but Shreveport market has been absolutely really good to me. So that's a good market. Oklahoma's the one. Sometimes might get a little bit sketchy, especially with Conestoga's, but like regular flats, you still should be good. coming out of there. Pretty much anywhere in the South, man, if you're over there, you're going to get some decent money. That's my favorite spots to stay into. I try to stay in the South as much as possible. So I am going to have a guy in San Antonio. Looking at San Antonio, he should be empty probably by tomorrow. San Antonio market's not looking that hot, but I'm sure he could deadhead a little bit, one way or the other. I'm going to get a good load for him. So overall, the South's where it's at for the flatbeds. Yes. Have the rates went down a little bit? Yes. Has the volume went down a little bit? I don't know about the volumes, maybe not as much, but the rates, again, I really feel they've been like affected because of the fuel went down so fast in 9 weeks, and then all of a sudden just jumped up. So the rates just kind of like started going down because of the fuel, and then the fuel jumped up so fast, it's going to take about a week or two to adjust to the new fuel prices. But it looks like fuel is not going up that much anymore. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I don't think we should panic yet. I think we're good. Let's see what happens in the next week or two, and then we can make a better decision based on that. Once again, thank you guys for watching. This series has been the best series I've been making, so it gets the most views, the most hits. So I appreciate you guys. As always, man, if you don't have DAT, go to my description here. Go to bobbylowe's.com/offers. 10% off for the first 12 months. Get it. Again, if you already have it, I don't get shit for it, but upgrade it so you get the least market conditions map, so that way you can search your markets and make sure you get to the best markets to make the most money possible. Sign up for the newsletter at bobbylowe's.com. I send you an email update when I release my YouTube videos, so you can check them out to make sure you're first to know about it. Watch them, make sure you get to the best markets, and I'll see you guys next time.